Let me go here with Lemon. Do you think they're playing office politics right now by not pumping up Darius Cooper too much? Because what they don't want to do is push this guy, because if he starts and Lemon is healthy to play, why wouldn't you play the guy who's having the better camp?
Yeah, well, I think camp is different than games. I mean, the difference to me with this year is that Cooper isn't a proven player. Like last year, I wish the Eagles, I hope the Eagles will look at Lemon the same way they looked at
Cooper?
Jordan Davis,
Okay.
the same way they looked at Jahad Campbell, the same way they looked at Nolan Smith, the same way they looked at most of their other first-round picks, which was you are not and will not be defined by what you accomplish in year one. Jahad Campbell was sent to the bench last year in the middle of the year, by the way, when he was having a pretty good year in favor of Nakobe Dean. So if the games come and Darius Cooper is actually the player that gives your team the best chance to win, I would hope that the Eagles would not shy away from putting him on the field. I don't believe they will. I understand the nature of the NFL. But again, I just named you a couple circumstances where the Eagles did not. They did have some patience with their players. They did give them the space. Jordan Davis wasn't playing a lot his first year. Remember, Fletcher Cox was still on the team, if I remember correctly. Jalen Carter, I think, was a different story because he was so talented. Quinyon Mitchell, same thing. They didn't really have the bona fide corner. Quinyon jumped right into the mix. Campbell went to the bench. Nolan took a couple years to become that guy. Have the patience with Makai. I don't understand what this infatuation with he has to be the number 3 or on the field right now because we drafted him this year. He missed all of camp. He might be or may not be. I don't know this to be true. He may or may not be struggling with the playbook. He certainly hasn't practiced, the implementation of the playbook because he's not on the field. It's one thing to read a sheet of paper, and listen in meetings. It's another thing to go out there and do it. So I think they need to exercise patience here. And remember, they're in the Super Bowl window. When you're in a Super Bowl window, it's like pushing all your chips in the middle of the table. You don't hold, you don't look for different opportunities. You play to win the game. You play to put yourself in the best position right here and right now. You can't think 2, 3, 4 years into the future when you're trying to win a Super Bowl, And I hope that's the way they handle it. I think there are a little bit of politics being played, but I don't think they're like not saying anything about Cooper yet. I don't know. I mean, he did have an interview today. I think his wife and his mother were there at practice supporting him, which is cool.
He was also at the presser. I loved the kid, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a great mentality. I mean, his answer to being asked about everybody giving him praise, I thought was pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think even more important than that, I mean, shit, the podium is one thing. I think the guy's got a flat out good skill set. Yeah. Like you say, dude, sometimes it doesn't matter where you're drafted or how tall you are, how fast you are, or what you look like, or sometimes you just line up and you can just play ball. Yep. You're just a ball player. Yep. And I get that feeling from Cooper. Now, I'm not the arbiter of truth on talent evaluation or any of those things, but I do think Darius Cooper has what it takes to be successful. Jalen likes him, seemingly is having a great camp. I mean, the other thing I liked hearing the other day was it's not one type of plays that he's winning on. It's in routes, out routes, go balls, cutbacks, hitch routes, slant routes, everything. He's doing well out there. I'd like to hear that. And he also plays with the type of physicality that I think this team is going to need.
And mentality.
With life after AJ. AJ Brown was a big body physical receiver. You've talked all summer about how this team is a finesse team. Darius Cooper plays physical. Darius Cooper plays with, I got good hands, and I'm going to go and catch the ball and fend you off. I think this team is going to need that. Think about this group. I think Devontae is more physical than he gets credit for, despite being undersized. But Smitty, Lemon, Wicks, Brown, that's a lot of smaller guys. You know what I mean? I think having that physical type of dude is a good thing out there. Now, Wicks apparently is being pretty physical in camp. I like it. And Devontae, I think, like I said, is more physical than people give him credit for. But I hope if Darius Cooper has earned the spot, then he's put out there to go and play ball. And then if he can't do it, all right, then that's a different conversation.
You want to? I'm going to give you a comparison that I think he reminds me of, and this is going to come off way over the top. Man, he reminds me of a Steve Smith kind of guy. Like Steve Smith was just an asshole. Get into fistfights in practice, knock guys out in the run game. Was just like a man out there. He reminds me a lot of Steve Smith Sr., dude. Like that tough fucking guy that just goes out there and he's just, man. I mean, I don't care where I was drafted. I don't care where you were drafted. I don't care what you think. I'm just going to go out there and we're going to go. Like when that guy competes, he doesn't give a shit if it's Q or a guy named Queen. He don't care. He's going out there and competing. And I like that mentality in a guy, especially when you're talking about a receiver like that and a receiver that plays with that kind of what Prince just said, that no shit kind of player kind of guy. Yeah. Hey, dude, you want to fuck with me? I'm going to fight you. That is what I'm getting from him. And I think he's fighting his way up that depth chart. And if Nick knows the kind of players that he had when he was at Mount Union and the kind of player maybe Nick was, I think Nick said something in that presser today that impressed me. He said he had elite hands. He said, that guy's got elite hands.
Well, you don't have 1,500 college yards. I don't care where you're playing without some pretty good hands.
Yeah, but
so he definitely does.
Dude, one position.
Do you think the NFL has gotten too far from that mentality? Like, let me explain what I mean. It's gotten so like prima donna, like pretty boy. Like you got to have the top draft spot. Like we used to have Seth Joyner on our channel. And Seth Joyner used to talk all the time about, I was drafted, I think he was an 8th round pick, if I'm not mistaken, Seth Joyner.
At a UTEP.
At a UTEP. I didn't give a fuck who was drafted in front of me. You know, I was working my ass off every day to get on the field, and every opportunity I had, I seized the moment. I never was going to let my draft positioning stop me from achieving what I wanted to achieve. And it feels kind of like, I mean, maybe not in every circumstance. I mean, you still see, later round picks, but I don't know. It just feels like the NFL just is getting more away from the merit-based approach. Because, look, the money's getting bigger. The stakes are getting higher. You now have the Cowboys valued at $15 billion. Quarterbacks are making $65 million now. Wide receivers are making $35 million now. Feels like that's it's going away.
I'll tell you why. Back in the day, Zander, you could find a Seth Joyner in the 8th round. You could find a Moro Jomo in the 7th round. Because of transfer portal and nil, the money that's being spent on evaluating these kids, where are the kids all being drafted? I made a point to you in the last 3 years. Do you know how many non-Power 5 kids have been drafted in the 1st round from non-Power 5 schools? 3. That's 93 picks. And Q's one of them. That's 93 picks. You're talking in the last 3 years in the 3 drafts.
Crazy, man.
Because you know why? If you're not drafted in that that hierarchy of the 1st round and you're those guys, you're going to get the first opportunities. A guy like here's what you're saying. All the major colleges missed on Darius Cooper. All the major NFL teams missed on Darius Cooper. And the Eagles got it right. How did they get it right? Remember something. The Eagles passed on him 7 times too. So, I mean, you mean we all got it wrong on Cooper? Do you understand the ego that goes into that? That if you've got a player that you missed on and all of a sudden you guys have a player here that you're going to start over a 17th pick in the draft, that's big time visual failure. Hey, dude, if Darius Cooper rolls out against the Commanders as your number 3 wideout and Makai Lemon standing on the sidelines with a cup of ice in his hand, that's not a good look.
Yeah, well, I get it. But, I don't know. I guess my rage of the day. But they're calling me a socialist in the chat now. But that's really, I meant the opposite. I think meritocracy is a key point
No, you want
but
you
it's
you
going
want to
away.
run your football team like Vic runs his football team.
Yeah. But that's
Put the best guy out there.
pie in the sky, Sileo.
Absolutely.